I'm Willie Mayette from pianowithwillie.com. I want to welcome you to this second part of the night and day lesson. Now, in part one, what I did was I took every line of the Cole Porter tune, Night and Day, and I gave you three different options. I made an arrangement and gave you three options for every line. Okay, so within each line, like option one would be the easiest, option two is a little bit more intermediate, option three is a little bit more advanced. So you have 12 different chapters for the first four lines. This second part is the next 12 chapters, so it's the next four lines completing the entire song. Now what's really cool about this technique is that you can go from option one, right, so line one, option one, into line two, option one, two, or three. So then you can go from line one, option two, into the next line, one, two, or three. So you can do this kind of stuff. You can mix and mingle the different options. So if you want to play a more easy arrangement, just do all the option ones. If you want to bump it up a little bit more advanced, do the option twos and then the option threes. So you can grow along with the lesson. You start with option one, and then when you feel comfortable, move on down to the next option, and then down to the next option. Now in this lesson, like I said, I go through all the last four lines and give you three options on each of those. But in addition, I'm also going to talk some more about some tritone substitution, and I'm going to give you other options within the options. So I'm going to show you some other little things that you can do within what's already written there. We go through, of course, step by step, slowly, what's written, okay, in the sheet music, and of course, sheet music comes with the lesson. But then I give you some other little tips and tricks. If you're interested in cocktail piano, I would definitely suggest you take a look at this lesson. There is a lot of really good information in this lesson. And I'll be honest with you, I wish that I had this lesson, 20, 25 years ago when I was like first getting started and, gigging, because there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do, and I break it down for you and show you, some of these tricks that I've learned over the past 25 years. Now, let me show you something that I didn't put in the lesson. This is just a little added bonus for you. Now, we know that the song goes, okay? So it goes to the F sharp minor 7 flat 5, down to F minor 7, E minor 7, E flat diminished. Okay? Now, what you can do is, well, let me play it for you first. Go it slow. Hey, you notice what I'm doing? Let me stop and I'll show you. So here, I'm playing F minor 7. Notice what I did is, it's a little different than a regular F minor 7 chord. I just went to the ninth. I like that because those clusters add some nice tension to the sound. But what did I do in the left hand? Went to B flat. Why B flat? Well, when you have a 2-5-1 progression, D minor 7, G7, C. Let's take something simple like that. Okay? And notice I'm just doing an inversion for the G7 chord. So even though it's D down here, it's really, right, these notes, okay? And then C. All right. So this would normally be D, G, C. If I just move it so you can see the difference between the hands a little bit, G, C. Okay, fine. So the root here is D, then the root is G, and then the root is C. Okay, I'm playing the root of each chord. Well, what I can also do is, when I have a 2-5-1 like that, I can play the 5 underneath the 2 chord as well. So there's D minor 7 over G, with G in the bass, right? Then to G7, then to C major 7. I could actually keep G throughout the whole progression. Here I went to an A7 with a flat at 9th, okay? Right? But anyway, so you could see the D, G, C, or D, G, C, okay? The point is, when I'm playing the minor chord, I can play the 5 chord root underneath that minor chord. Another way of looking at it is, when you have a minor chord, count up 5 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And put that note as the bass note underneath that minor chord. So if I have F minor 7, rather than playing an F down here, count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and play that note. All right, so now obviously we're hearing that and it's becoming a different chord now, isn't it? It doesn't sound like a F minor 7 anymore, and it has a new characteristic. Well, if we looked at this in terms of being a B flat 7 chord, what kind of chord is it? Well, there's my 5th, there's my 7th, there's my 9th, there's my, oh, what is that? My 4? It's a sus4 chord, okay? So this is making a sus4 sound, right? So a suspended sound. And what's cool about this is when I'm going to solo over this, I could just use outlining that F minor 7 chord. I can also use an F minor pentatonic. So now anytime I want to create a suspended sound, all right, I know that I can start with a minor chord and just put the 5th underneath it. If I wanted to work the other way, so like let's say I wanted to get a G sus, rather than counting up 5, count down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so put a D minor 7 underneath it. I want to get a C sus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, put down a G minor. Want to get G flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, put down D flat. Now notice what I did here. Rather than just playing a regular D flat minor, I did one of my rootless chord voicings that I talk about in the piano chords series. Okay, 3, 5, 7, 9. See that? Get a real cool sound there with that sus. All right, so anyway, what I'm doing here is, instead of playing the F, I go to the B flat. Well, guess what I can do on the E as well? Rather than playing E minor 7, count up 5 half steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, put an A underneath it. And this trick really only works over stock minor 7 chords. And what I mean by that is not a minor 7 flat 5, okay? So when I play the F sharp minor 7 flat 5, I just leave it as F sharp minor 7 flat 5. Are there other notes I could do underneath that? Sure. I could go to the A and then go up to B flat. But you know what, for right now, just stick with the F sharp minor 7 flat 5. E over A. So again, slowly, F minor 7 with B flat in the bass, E minor 7, E flat diminished. All right, so E flat diminished there. Okay. All right, so that's Night and Day Part 2. I think you'll really enjoy this lesson. Of course, be sure to check out Part 1 before coming to Part 2. Otherwise, you're starting at the second half of the song. All right, so I hope you join me in the lesson. I'll see you in the first chapter.